Hello everyone. I am Shubhika Mehra from Junction, and our speaker for the day is Mr. Harsh Dubey, who is currently pursuing MBA from IIM Shillong. Harsh has completed his BE in the year 2018 from RV College of Engineering. Post engineering, Harsh has also joined PwC SDC and forensic team. He is involved in variety of projects which includes investigative analysis, data analytics, develop document review and contract risk due to the corporate deals, etc. Harsh has also experienced in developing automation for analysis of huge sets of data. He has also worked with NCDEX. Apart from data science, Harsh has interest in the fields of HR and marketing as well. So I heartily welcome you, Harsh, in today's podcast. How are you doing?
Thank you, Shubhika, for having me here. I'm doing great, and that was a really huge introduction about me. I don't know how much I fit those shoes, but thank you for having me with you.
Glad. Pleasure is all ours, Harsh. So let's start. Can you introduce more briefly about yourself, about your journey from engineering to IIM Shillong?
So, to start about myself, I come from a small city called Jamshedpur, which is located in Jharkhand. But for B school aspirants, Jamshedpur should be a prize location. Don't no brainers for that. And if you don't know where Jamshedpur is, you should better start looking out where on map that city falls into. Jokes apart, I completed my BTech as she mentioned in the year 2018, and post that I joined PricewaterhouseCoopers. Basically, the role was that of a data scientist, and it took me a while to understand that, if you have to grow in this particular field, because the point was that I was not in the domain in which I had graduated. I am a telecom engineer, and I was working in a field which was completely unassociated with my graduation. So if you are in a situation like that where you are working in a field which is completely unrelated to your past education, it becomes really difficult to get hold of it and grow in an organization at a pace with which you want. Naturally, the options left at that point is, either to work really hard and get accustomed with the work, or pursue masters. The masters again has two choices: either you go and pursue MS or you go and pursue management. For me, I selected the second choice, and the reasons of this were quite obvious. That first of all, I'm not a kind of a person who likes to be in the classroom and go through a complete regular courses with a lot of monotony. MBA offers a lot of challenges, a lot of case studies, a lot of holy interaction. You cannot just stick yourself to the book. That's less than 0.5% of your course. 99.5% of MBA happens outside the book. So that was something which enticed me, and that was the reason that I wrote my CAT examinations in 2019. I wrote in 2018, but that didn't go well, and my score at that time was 98.92 percentile, if I'm not mistaken. And IIM Shillong was one of few B schools from where I got the final calls, and I finally chose IIM Shillong. Again, no prizes for guessing that. Why?
Okay, thank you so much, Harsh. Talking about CAT examination, are most of the audience are aspiring for CAT and for IIMs. So, what kind of suggestion you would give them, like the motivation for them?
Well, that's an interesting question, and that demands at least 5 minutes of your time. So, as far as motivation is concerned, this is a very crude calculation, right? Let us say that if you are a person with a work X, probably you will write the CAT examination only if you are in a pay band of somewhere between 8 to 10 lakhs, and probably you want to grow higher in the hierarchy, right? Now, the average package of any top rated IM or any top rated B school like MDI, Gurgaon, SPJ, and so on and so forth is at least 16 lakh rupees. So there is a directly 8 lakh rupees jump. And for that, you need, by when I wrote my CAT, there were 100 questions. I don't know when they have changed the format, what is the total number of questions. But from my perspective, 2019 perspective, each question is worth 80,000 marks. Each question is worth 80,000 rupees. So one question you solve, you automatically get 80,000 rupees in your wallet. And I think that that should be a motivation worth to be fighting for. Now that's a crude calculation. I'm not saying that if you get a correct answer, you will get 80,000 rupees in your wallet, but that's a good point to start from. The second thing which need to be kept in mind is that CAT is more of a mind game. Obviously needs practice like any other competitive examination. CAT is more of a mind game. Now, I'm really sorry I haven't been quite accustomed about the new pattern which CAT has come after the COVID regulations, because they have reduced the duration from 3 hours to 2 hours, and subsequently the number of questions have been reduced. But I am pretty much confident that the format has remained the same. That is, you get specific amount of time to solve each and every sections, right? Am I right, Shubhik, on that?
Yeah, yes, yes,
Yeah,
Harsh. Right.
exactly. So when you get, I'm talking from 2019 perspective because I'm more confident on it. So I would request your viewers to just set that thing in their own time frame. It's just a matter of just changing the time frame and changing the number of questions, right? If you get 1 hour to solve 34 questions, let us say in VARC, either you should be confident that either I'm going to solve all the 34, this is my strength, I'm going to pitch on it, and I'm going to going hyper aggressive on it. But let us say that you come from a background where you don't feel confident in the language. Keep a motivation that I will solve certain amount of questions which will at least clear the cutoffs for each and every college, right? If you happen to be in the second category for any specific segment of the examination, you have to be extremely cautious about the questions which you are selecting. Now, VRC wouldn't be a really good example to explain this concept, but let us go to the quant section, right?
Yeah.
Let us say that while I'm practicing at home, logarithms happen to be your strength. And on the day of the CAT, there is one simple question on logarithms which you're not able to solve. Now, but don't take it personal, right? No one is going to give you a gold medal for solving that question. It's perfectly fine to leave that question and move ahead. Don't take things personal while writing any competitive examination, specifically CAT. Certain questions are laid, as a trap that, people take things in personal. Now let us catch in those traps and kill the time. Now, if you are confident that no matter what, in this particular section, I can solve all the 34 questions well and good, hands up to you. But let us say that there are a couple of questions which are eating your head around. Just skip those questions and move ahead. Once you have solved everything, you can come back and revisit, because what CAT offers you is the guarantee of time, right? Because before 1 hour, that segment won't get over. But let us say that you ended up wasting precious time on that one question, that one prestige question, and at the end of the day, you didn't have sufficient time enough to look at the last easier questions, then you will regret it a lot. That was strategy number two. The third thing which needs to be kept in mind, and that is a very important thing for CAT, not only CAT, but for life after that as well, keep calm. The more you keep calm, the better you will be able to perform on that day, because you don't get extra marks while getting frustrated, while losing your calm, while getting hyperventilated. So what's the point? Now it's easier to say on a screen of computer, but that has to be practice. Whenever you give the mock test, give it with complete seriosity, so that when you give the final examination, it's just one more simulation. It's not that it's a life and a battle of life and death, whether if I don't do something right, I might die or something like that. So just try to keep things calm, right? Apart from you know getting the skills to solve the questions, it is also very important how to keep the nerves calm. Why it is important? I clearly remember that when I was solving my VRT section, which happened to be my strength, I solved all the questions and my percentile was some 99.84, something like that in VRC. That's not bragging. That was the bragging stuff. I had just 7 minutes to solve the last paragraph, the last passage. It took me 5 minutes of reading, and I was left with just 2 minutes to solve 4 questions. Ideally, people start hyperventilating, or they just start, reviewing the questions which they have solved prior to that. But what is the reward of keeping yourself calm? I solved my last question, the fourth question, when I had just 27 seconds left in my clock. I still remember that because that was, breathtakingly close for the timer to get over. And very interestingly, in that last paragraph, all the four answers were correct.
Wow.
So that is the dividend which you get when you learn this art of keeping your nerves calm. The very last second counts until and unless the timer is over at 00.00. You are still in the battle. Even you can get a right answer even in the last second. But but the condition is just keep calm.
Right. That was absolutely a very amazing and well explained thing. And also, you said that in first of attempt, unfortunately, you didn't go through. So there are many people the same category. So what you would like to suggest them means stay calm, stay motivated. But it is easy, but they're practicing and that implementation is very hard. So any one-liner for them?
I won't give a one liner, I'll give you a complete paragraph for that.
Sure, sure.
Right? So when I wrote the CAT in 2018, my result was 84 point some percent, and I don't remember the decimal figures quite well now. And quant section was a complete disaster. I got something 14 was my normalized score. Uh, DILR was equally bad. Some grace was left in VRC. I think I crossed the gracious 90 percentile mark in that. Keeping this part aside, whenever you give any competitive examination, and if you are in a state, you have been ended in a state where you know that, this might not end up well, you have two options. Either you go and mark any random things and come out and saying that okay, this didn't go well, I will try the next year, or I will try to do well in the next examination. The second and the more sane logic, which I prefer to call, is I know that I'm not going to qualify this examination. The questions are tough, I'm not well practiced, I'm not experienced. But can I identify my strengths and weaknesses? Can I guarantee myself that if I solve these 3 questions, I will get these 3 questions correct? Right? So let us say that now, here comes a problem, right? Because for the folks who have already given CAT in the past, right? Like CAT 2021, right? Last year, it was 21. And they might have fallen in the first category that they left it without any analysis and so on and so forth. You don't need to worry, because what you need to do is take the mock test series of any institution which you want, whichever fits your budget, or whichever fits your psychology, or whichever fits you what pre-assumptions. Give the first mock test. Almost every one of them offer a full syllabus mock or something like that. Just give it. If not, then give the mock test of the slot in which you haven't given the test. So let us say that you gave the test in slot number 1. Give the mock test for slot 2 or slot number 3. And then you will analyze that these are the areas where without much preparation, I did a little bit better. And these are the areas where I was left completely bold. Now, since you have identified your weaknesses and strengths at a very crude level, these are not the final strengths and weaknesses, but you have at least a point to start. From where to start? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? How to polish the strengths and how to manage the weaknesses. Now, word of caution. Your performance will never be an exponential curve like this. E to the power x का आपका performance curve नहीं रहने वाला है. There will be plateaus in your performance curve. You get better, straight line, then a lot of flat line, again a bit of improvement, then a flat line, again a bit of improvement, then flat line. People break when they end up in the plateau, right? In learning theory, we call it, your neurons take some time to adapt to a new problem which you're solving, right? So that growth line is the area which you were the problems or the type of situations you had solved in the recent past, right? So let us say that when you were in school you were really good in number system. It would be easier for you to solve the questions from number system, so that would come under that growth line. But if you are experimenting with something new, for say, let us say for example that you're not from science background and you're from commerce background, and after class 10th you didn't study logarithms well, right? Or let us say that you didn't study geometry well, and whenever you solve a problem of geometry or whenever you solve a problem of logarithm, you are getting stuck. That's quite natural. Everybody learns in that particular way. So give yourself some time to understand how the problems are solved. That plateau effect happens with everyone, right? With everyone. The difference between who make through it and who don't make through it is the persistence with which they practice. For some of them, that plateau might diminish within one day, but for some of them, it may take 1 month. That's completely natural. For me, the plateau one might end in 1 month. For you, the plateau one might end in 3 days. But for me, the plateau three might end in 3 seconds. For you, it might take 3 weeks. So everyone has a different pace of learning, and everyone has a different pace of covering those plateaus in your learning graph. The question is, don't get scared, don't get frustrated. Only that, it takes pressure and temperature to make diamond from carbon, or else the carbon which is taken out very quickly from the mine is something which you use in your thermal power plants.
Wow, it was very well explained and all the graphs and logarithm perfect. And let's move ahead. So talking about your career, what was the one thing you wish that you would have known at the beginning of your career, talking about data science?
To be honest, I ended up in the field of data science by accident, right? So I was hired in PwC just as a general graduate trainee, and they ended up putting me in a team which specialized in data science, and it was by chance that I loved this subject. So for me, it was in Bollywood movies they have a dialogue "love by chance," right, or something like that, or luck by chance. I don't remember that quite well.
Yeah.
So for me, it was the same state of affair. As far as the career is considered, though you should have a plan, but no one is Brahma over here who knows what is written 30 years down the line. So the simple logic is practice for the best, but be prepared for the worst. And don't expect anything, right? Just keep on doing your work. Things will settle down eventually, either today or either tomorrow. Career is a marathon race. It's not a 100-meter race, right? What matters is that you finish the ending line of 42 kilometers at the first place. रेस के स्टार्टिंग के 10 किलोमीटर में आप 1 किलोमीटर का मार्जिन लेकर भी रहे हैं तो क्या फायदा जब आप 42 किलोमीटर की लाइन में आप लास्ट आप खत्म कर रहे हो. So that is the thing which has to be kept in mind. So don't get worried about a lot. Things will settle down. Keep on practicing and keep on adding value to yourself. I'm not saying that you should just go for MBA like blindly like that. Give yourself some time and understand that what is happening with me, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, how is the job world modifying, where will I fit in. Sometimes things happen just by chance. That something like me, I never imagined of working in data science. By the way, in class 12, I didn't even take the statistics subject. I took vector theory and 3D geometry, right? So I studied statistics only when I was working in the firm actually, right? So things happens by chance, and allow things to happen. That's all.
Thank Thank you so much, Harsh. Moving ahead, what are the biggest resources in data science which helped you in your working experience?
Shubhika, which is the sport which you like to play?
Sorry?
Which is the game of sport which you like to play?
Sport in the sense, means I didn't get.
Whichever game, like, by like tennis or badminton, whatever.
Oh,
Which is the
okay.
game which you like? Yeah.
Yeah, I am a state level football player.
So, can you learn football while seeing the matches of Messi? It will give you a little bit hint, but can you be a state level champion
No,
just by watching the videos?
no.
Not
No.
possible, right?
Right,
You
yeah.
need to get on the ground and get
That,
yourself hurt, get yourself dirty, right?
yeah.
So there is no resource on planet Earth which will make you accustomed with anything. I can give you a name of a bundle of books, but the question really needs is that human brain is quite adaptive in nature. It won't accept anything just for fun, just because I wanted to learn it. It will learn it only when there is a dire need to learn it, right? So if you really want to learn data science, get your hands dirty on it. Download any database from Kaggle or any other source. Start with the most basic data functions like inferring from the pie chart and stuff like that. And then you will understand that descriptive data science is not useful at all. You need to go for more advanced tools like regression and so on and so forth. And then you will realize that regression in itself is not powerful enough. You need to go for advanced models like factor analysis and so on and so forth. And eventually you'll find out that if things have to be more perfect, you need to go into big data and machine learning and so on and so forth. But let us say that if you say that nahi mere ko aaj hi machine learning ka champion banna hai, and if you start from that point itself, it won't happen. You will get bored after some time. No, see, things have developed from the ground level. No one has invented the data science in the first and then ended up teaching you what is mean, median, and mode. Everything has started from study of the variance and has ended up with machine learning and algorithms like that. So if you really want to learn data science, get your hands dirty. That's all.
Right, I totally agree with you. In the last semester, I have done a course of R language, R Studio, and basics were from vector, and then it started and it ended till machine learning. Not so well in deep, but I know few things of that also. So I can totally relate with this. So moving ahead, talking about your data again, as we know that the world is becoming digital now. So the demand for data analytics and AI is more. So what suggestion would you give to our audience who are willing to pursue their career in wholly in data field or digital field?
Uh, Again, there will be a very long answer for this. So let me take you back a couple of decades, right? Post 1991, there was a high demand for software individuals in our country, and uh, people who had joined the software development sector in between 2000 and 2010 from any institute with any degree or with any skill set, they have they have six-digit monthly payoff right now, right? But now, if you ask anyone in the field of software development, can they guarantee six-digit starting salary? The answer is no, right? The answer is completely no. There are people with CS degree who start their career with really low salaries. It's because the reason is that it's a problem of supply and demand, right? When the number of software engineers needed were far less than what was there in the market, with limited bit of knowledge, you could end up doing pretty well. But when that market has saturated, the demand for software developers have become more and more stringent. So it's just not that you will be successful by knowing database management systems and so on and so forth. You should know proper development stuff and so on and so forth. I'm not a CS engineer, so I'm really sorry if I'm simplifying a lot of things altogether, right? Same is the case with machine learning and data science and stuff like that. See, the problem is that, this particular field is also in its growing curve. So for quite a while, you learn anything, you will get a good payoff. But sooner or later, it will reach its saturity point. And at that point, everyone in the market will have some kind of data science degree or some kind of data science certificate from IIT Bombay, IIT Guwahati, here and there. And then the companies will start looking for a person who has this certificate. That will become a bare minimum requirement. So to excel, just like in software field, it is really necessary to be to be clear with the basics so that you can build upon it later in your career. And this thirst to keep on building and learning is important. Same is the field with data science, right? It's really good to study data science, get a certificate and stuff like that, but try to understand that sooner or later even this field will reach its saturation point. And at that particular point, when everyone has a certificate with him, what is the point of differentiation left? So if you want to go into this field, very good, right? It's a very high payoff field. But make sure that you love this field. A certificate won't alone help you survive. If today I give you a set of data with 5 lakh rows and 10,000 columns, and I say, you buddy, give me the analysis over it, right? Or build me a statistical model which I can use for 10 similar data sets like that. And you say that, sorry, I might take some time, or I don't know to do it, or no one has taught me to do stuff like that. It won't help you. You have to be passionate enough to learn to be a master in this field. Just don't pursue this field because everyone is doing it. Because sometime or the later, everyone is going to have a certificate in this field.
Yes, I agree with you. And means according to you, again the same. But what are the biggest challenges faced in this field, like data and AI field right now, after pandemic, or in means everyone was working from home, everything has shifted from to digital. So, what is the biggest
I think
challenge?
that, yeah, I think that there isn't challenge because this is the time to fish in this water. This water is warm and filled with a lot of fishes. So this is a good time to fish in these waters. But at the same time, when you fish, have a strong fishing net. Don't dare to jump in this ocean without preparation because big ships will arrive and then you will run out of free waters. So if you want to jump in this water to catch good fishes, make sure that you have a good fishing net. To be precise, love and develop deep passion for this field, and keep on learning. That's the message.
Thank you. And means as I have also mentioned about your successful projects and your internship in your engineering and currently in MBA. So what personality traits or skills or uh, education you think that all project holders are doing MBA, means we have live projects and CAs and also case studies. So a project holder must have in the whole of their working on their new project.
That's a really good question. So the very first thing is that no matter what you are, from an absolute novice, from being an absolute novice, you can deliver a successful project within a matter of 2 months. From being an absolute novice. What is really important is, to keep your heavy head apart. Just don't come in this field saying that, यार मैंने तो already काम किया है, ये तो मेरे बाएं हाथ का खेल है. Because once you start saying that, you close your mind from learning new things. Giving you an example, when I was interning in the firm which you just mentioned, right?
Yeah.
I had already worked on various regression models in my past organization. And I had the opportunity to use those regression models once again and get the result and be free after some time and enjoy my free time with everything around. But it hadn't be much productive because I would be doing the same thing once again. So what was the next step up? So if your audience might have a bit of knowledge of data science, that once you end with regression, simple linear regression, stuff like that, you go for advanced models like logistic regressions and so on and so forth. So I used some of those models, which were completely new to me. As I said, I had no exposure of data science before coming to PwC, and even in college, in the first year, the data science course is kept quite light because everyone doesn't have that, you know, uh, exposure to data science so much. So even at that level, I did not have complete clarity about, how to use advanced models apart from regression and so on and so forth. So I gave myself a challenge. Can I learn this thing in 2 months? And can I become sufficiently fluent in it? I won't say I wanted to become a master. No one can become a master ever in life. You should always be a student, right? You should always have this zest to learn new things. So I gave myself this challenge. Can I learn this thing sufficiently well in 2 months? Now, obviously, saying this is far more easier because, you know, if I had decided to restrict myself to use my past knowledge, I would have clocked less than 20 hours a week. But I unnecessarily expanded my work scope from 20 hours a week to more than 70 hours a week, right? Because 80% of the tasks which of work I used to do was waste of time because every time I ended up getting a wrong result or proceeding ahead with a wrong method. So if you want to learn and grow, two things are most important. First of all, come with a lighter head. Forget what you have done in the past. Always try to be a student, never try to be a master. And number two, have the ability to take risks. Of the 10 decisions you take in life, you will succeed in only two. Just because you're failing in eight doesn't mean that you won't try to achieve those two decisions at the end of the day. आप पहले स्टार्टिंग 6 में फेल कर गए, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो जो आखिरी दो हैं वो लास्ट 9th और 10th में नहीं आएंगे. So it is very important to first to have the appetite to learn. The second, to give yourself the tolerance of making mistakes.
Right. And moving forward, means also talking about your interest that I mentioned in HR and marketing field. So in this field also, as we have discussed, that AI has changed the traditional way. Like talking about in HR field, means from data selection to recruiting employees, means everything has gone on digitally. And similarly in marketing, like I feel that digital marketing has took over the traditional marketing. So one with the less knowledge in digital media, means how you can that person should come up with an increase in demand of AI nowadays.
Okay, let me start with a more simpler example for that, right? So I believe that most of your viewers have taken an air journey at any point in their life. So when you talk about any aircraft, it has, I'm not an aeronautical engineer, but just to make things simple, there are two basic systems inside an aircraft. One is the propulsion system, which makes sure that the aircraft goes and flies in the sky. And the second is the safety mechanisms, which makes sure that, the passengers land safely on the ground. When we talk about marketing and HR and stuff like that, your in-person skills, the interpersonal skills, or the traditional marketing and the traditional HR skills, which we call as, is the safety net, are the safety mechanisms. But what really drives your aircraft is the field of data science. Now, why I'm saying so? As I was talking to you before this interview, I was giving you the example, right? That if I have 100 people to target, be it as an HR to recruit for my firm, or be it as future clients to buy my product, and I have limited resources, and if I keep on targeting every 100 of them, it is not quite helpful as such. But let us say that if I am able to remove 40 people or 50 people from that target audience list with sufficient surety, without reasonable doubt, that these people will never join my firm or these people are not my immediate customers, then I can focus my efforts for the rest 40 50 remaining. right? That is the power of data science. It helps organizations or individuals to funnel down the target audience. I was giving the example of the aircraft, right? So let us say that you have good interpersonal skills, right? So your safety mechanism, your safety systems for aircraft is perfectly fine. But if you don't have a propulsion system, your aircraft will be standing in the hangar itself with absolutely zero use of your safety system. But at the same time, let us say that you want to be in the field of HR and marketing without interpersonal skills, without being empathetic about the person you are dealing with, and all those traditional HR and marketing skills which are taught. You are flying an aircraft, a high quality aircraft without any safety systems. So a thing as simple as a turbulent might turn into a matter of life and death. So you have to balance between these two, right?
Yeah. So ending up here, Harsh, it was really nice talking to you. Very informative session and very motivative. I personally learned many things from you, Harsh, and it was really great. I feel the same. My users, they would learn and definitely come up with an idea and also motivate themselves to not give up and just be prepared. And life goes on and be happy. That's what the end of the day story is. So thank you so much, Harsh. It was really nice interviewing you and it was very informative. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Shubhika. It was really great talking to you.